everyone, welcome to our second lesson in Unit 3, where we're going to look at the basics of internet connectivity. The basics of internet connectivity. So in this lesson, we're just going to look at the basics of internet connectivity, and we'll be able to look at what helps us, what helps us get connected to the internet and the network itself. So in our previous lessons, we were able to look at what an internet is, and we discovered that an internet is a global network of interconnected computers and networks that communicate using a standard protocol, a standardized protocol. Now, we say that a protocol, by definition, protocol is the set of instructions, Now, this internet allows the sharing of information and resources across the globe. Okay, it allows the sharing of information and resources across the globe. So when we talk about allowing the share of information across the globe, we are talking about, WhatsApp, Facebook, internet, emails, and whatnot. So it is the internet that helps you share the information. Imagine how it was going to be without internet. Just imagine, okay? It would have, I wouldn't want to imagine that anyway. I wouldn't want to imagine that. If you are taken to a place far away that doesn't have any internet, no network, what do you do? Okay. Nevertheless, internet has made it possible to share information, and today's life, it has actually, we are seeing it normal to have internet. Without internet, you will feel as if there's a sort of disability in a way. Okay, so we also looked at networks. Okay, we said a network is a collection of computers and devices connected to share resources and information. Okay, so we looked at types of networks in our last video. We looked at LAN, WAN, and others that we looked at, MAN, and all those. Okay, so these are types of networks that we have. Now, internet service providers. Now, internet service provider, ISPs, okay? We have ISPs. For you to connect to the internet, you need to have an ISP, okay? What is this ISP? It is called an internet provider. So ISP is an internet provider. It provides access to the internet, okay? It provides the access to the, it provides internet access to the users. Okay, so for you to have that internet, for you right now to be seeing this video, it means that you are going through the internet service provider. Okay, now these internet service providers, they use various technologies like DSL, cable, fiber optics, or satellite to connect users to the internet. Now, these internet providers, for example, we're talking about MTN, Airtel, Zamtel, Liquid Telecom, and the others. So these companies are specifically designed, or they are made up to provide internet access to the users. Imagine what happens when you don't have bundles. Your WhatsApp can't work, your Facebook can't work, your emails can't work, your phone can't work. In short, the purpose of smartphones this time around is the internet. Of course, you can be able to receive calls and whatnot, but that is another form of connectivity. So if you don't have a SIM card, it means you are not connected to the internet, or you're not connected by this ISP, okay, provider. Now, when you have a connected, so let's start it from scratch. You have ISPs, which is the internet provider, service provider, who give you the SIM card. They give you access, and they'll give you access to the internet. Okay, they give you a SIM card. That SIM card, you buy bundles, right? So that's what we call ISPs. Their part is done. Now, on the other hand, you need what we call IP address. We already discussed this in our previous video, in our previous lesson, where we looked at internet protocol. IP means internet protocol, okay? So IP addresses uniquely identify device on a network. Now, for you to be identified as, person A, person B, you need to have what we call an IP address. So this IP address identifies your device on a network, okay? It identifies your device on the network. So here, actually, using IP addresses, they are able even to trace you, okay? Because they will definitely know that this IP address is coming at this exact location, provided that there's a, the GPS location enabled. Okay? So apart from that, this IP address locates you. Okay. Now this IP address is in what we call IPv4. Okay, that is 32-bit, and IPv6, that is 120-bit. Okay, there are two main versions of IP addresses. Okay, so even IP addresses are in versions. There is the 32-bit and the 128 bit. So we'll be able to talk about these bits later as you go on with your ICT course. But for now, what is important is the 32-bit and 124-bit. The 32-bit is a bit more smaller than a 128-bit, meaning its versions of connectivity, its dynamics are different, that we'll be able to look at later. So we say first of all, you need to have ISP, okay, which is the internet provider service, okay. The second, you have IP address. This IP address, it is a unique it's a unique address that connects you to another device. It connects you to another device through this IP address, which is in 32 and 128 bits. Then there's what we call a domain. So if you're doing ICT, you're doing computer science, you're doing IT related courses, you'll be able to know these things in more details as you go on. Now, a domain name, a domain is like a plot. Plots are numbered, okay, like where we are located in Rhodes Park, plot 33, Joseph Miller Road. That is our plot, okay? That plot we have is what we call the domain name. So the domain names are alphanumerical addresses representing IP address for human convenience, okay? So IP address, these are alphanumerical addresses representing IP address. So that IP address needs to have a destination. That IP address needs to have a destination. For example, your IP address, is going to Facebook. So Facebook has a domain. Okay, so you're going to the plot. Okay, it's more like you bought a plot using your IP address. You bought a plot in Facebook, which is your profile, and Facebook will create a domain for you. Okay, where you'll be logging in and checking out everything. Equally, that's what happens to domain name. So the domain name system, DNS, translates domain names into IP address. So once you create a profile, it will create a special IP address. Therefore, you are able to give people links to your profiles. Then routers, we discussed what a router is. So when you have a domain, this router now gives you it's a device that direct data traffic between different networks. So this router now will give you access to it will give you access to the internet. Then we've got what we call a modem. A modem converts digital data from a computer into analog signals for transmission over telephone line, DSL, or cable line. Okay, so modem converts digital data from a computer into an analog signal for transmission over telephone. So let's look at the fact that, for example, you bought bundles, right? You've bought bundles, and these bundles you need to use them to connect. You bought data, you need it to connect to the internet. So you can either connect via a router or via modems. So modems is what we call, you can use maybe fiber through cables, or you can connect through, you can connect through devices, all right, Wi-Fi and whatnot. So these two help you to get access to all these things. Now, on top of that, there's what we call protocol. So protocol, like we have always been talking about it. These are rules that govern data communication. Okay, so key protocols include TCP or IP address, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, etc. Okay, so these are just the protocols, rules. I know it may sound a bit complicated, but I want you to take time, read through the module, follow them, and you'll be able to understand that these are very simple things, because the things that you deal with from day to day. Okay, these are things that you are working with all the time. So you are working with the internet, you are working with your phone, so it must be easy for you to be able to follow along. Okay, so protocols, of course, we've already discussed what the IP, TCP or IP transmission, that is transmission control protocol. So of course, this is the fundamental suite of protocol that powers the internet. Okay, so TCP ensures reliability, ordered and error-checked delivery of data. So IP is responsible for addressing and routing packets of data. Okay, so then when we come to HTTP is used for transferring hypertext web documents. Okay, so it helps you to to check the website, to check the documents, to check the pages on the document on the website and whatnot. HTTPS adds a layer of security using SSL or TSL for encrypted communication. So you'll be able to know more of these as we go on, okay? You'll be able to know most of these as we go on. Then there's what we call FTP. We already looked at this, file transfer protocol, which is used for transferring files between a computer on a network. It also allows uploading and downloading of files. So when you're uploading or downloading files, use FTP, okay? Then there's what we call SMTP, which we already looked at, which is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is POP and IMP. So SMTP is used for sending emails, okay? Then POP, Post Office Protocol, okay? POP means Post Office Protocol, and IMP, Internet Message Access Protocol, are used for retrieving emails, okay? They are used for retrieving emails. Then, of course, we have what we call the DNS, which is domain name system. So this resolves domain name to IP address. So it starts with, for example, www.chaslife.org. So that's what we call a domain name, okay? As you are Googling, if you want to check Chaslife, you are going to search for Chaslife and a domain name is going to come. That's like a plot, okay? And on that plot, you will get an IP address if you've got an account. We create you an account, it means we've given you a plot, on our domain, okay? And that plot will have what we call an IP address. An IP address, it is like an identification number for your, for your plot or for your address, okay? So this domain, it gives the hierarchy structure with authoritative name saver, okay, to have the name which is saved. Now, on top of that, there's another protocol we call DHCP, okay, DHCP, which stands for Dynamic Host Configuration. Dynamic Host Configuration. Now, so this dynamic host configuration, it automatically assigns an IP address to a device on a network. For example, for when you get, when you get, you get this, you get a DSP, this a DSP will give you a direct, configuration. It will give you an IP address. This IP address is the one that they'll be able to follow and track. Now, Those people who track phones, they use this IP address because wherever the device is going, it will always have what we call an IP address. That IP address is one that will be able to track and follow according to the where it is. Okay, so SSL or TSL, these are what we call secure socket layer. Okay, secure socket layer or transport layer security. Security socket layer or transport layer security provides secure communication over a computer network. Okay, it provides a secure communication over a computer network. So it provides you, if you start doing web design, you actually understand that there's what we call SSL, and TSL, I mean TLS. So these they provide some sort of security layers. Now you understand that a website that has got an active SSL, it normally provides a lock after its HTTP. Okay, you will see a lock when you Google. You will see a lock on on the you will see a lock on its browser. So it means that it's secured. Okay. So of course they commonly use HTTPS for secure web browsing. It means that your web data cannot easily be retrieved from the back end to the front end. Okay, so that's what we are talking about. Then there's also what we call UDP, user datagram protocol. So user datagram protocol basically provides a connectionless communication service. It provides a connectionless communication service. So it provides, since it provides a connectionless communication service, it is also faster but less reliable than TCP. So UDP is also something that can be used, in place of TCP. Okay. Of course, we've understood what that is. Okay, sorry, that was my antivirus. Okay, so now we have what we call ICPM. Okay, ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. So this is used for error reporting and diagnostic function. So if there is an error, you use what we call Internet Control Message Protocol to send this information. Now, remember what we discussed about? We talked about IPv6. Okay, so this is Internet Protocol version 6. So IPv6, this you'll be able to see this in some of the areas, and it is developed to address to the address that is limited of version 6. I mean version 4, IPv version 4. It provides a larger address space. Okay, now every address has got the amount of space, just like the way they would provide you land to say, okay, you've got a land and this land is 2 hectares, 3 hectares, 20 by 15, 15 by 20, 20 by what. That's what these visions are all about. So these addresses are measured in sizes. So V6, V4, V8, it provides specification of a certain amount of space that you got on that particular area. Now, I understand that it may be very difficult for you to navigate around these protocols, I mean, these instructions, but one, you should know that for now, be able to go through, research more. There's so much information that is being shared in a short period of time, and I understand that with much research, you'll be able to win against the seemingly tough, concepts that we are sharing in these courses. So until we meet next time, please go through, and after this, probably you'll be able to check out the quiz. The quiz will be very comprehensive. I urge you and advise you to study and thoroughly, so that you do not miss out or you don't get poor grades because of lack of practice. So take your time, do not be in a rush to finish this video. Make sure you study perfectly well. Once you study perfectly well, you actually discover that the lessons that we are providing for you here are very, very simple. Until we meet next time, goodbye.